Let's try to see if I can explain, if I can communicate. Living life is not easy. And I see the turbulence more and more in the society and technology advancement and all stuff happening, political scenes, climate change, there are lots of stuff. It's as if we have some skill to mess up or everybody has some opinion to share. This is the way, this is the way, this is the way. In such a world, if my characterization is at least a little bit correct, what I think is important is to know who we are and be the master of our destiny still. Otherwise, we're swinging this way, swinging that way, get the surprise, and at the end of it, what happened to my life? That's not the way I want to live. I don't want to be told what to do and turn out to be not so successful in doing that. So if there are lots of opinions and information going around and on the internet and TV, any place, you have to go there, you have to buy this and listen to that person. You know, this is a book that you have. I mean, I guess I'm one of them to do something that I want to share. But I think I was thinking this morning why I'm doing this so long and almost like at random. It is at random almost. So I thought about it, and then how can I explain what I'm doing? And is there a way that I can change so that it's easy to understand and all that? But I think it came down to this point, which is the curiosity of a man or woman is important. When we are young, we have curiosity. When we get old, I think we may lose the curiosity. Why? Because there's so much burden you are carrying and what to do. So again, you lose to be the master of your destiny because of those. You have to do this, you have to do that. In the company, there are lots of you have to do that. And there's, I call it the crossfire syndrome, that how do you manage it? That's how I talked about the mini company, those ideas, so that we can be the master of what we do in the company. But in life, obviously, that idea has to be processed, at least in my view, so that you can be the master. And that's the reason why the mini company idea become a mini me idea, that within myself, who is the master and how am I coordinating instead of lots of information unprocessed and clogging up the system. And therefore I say, like yesterday or so, rebooting. And prior to that, I said the samadhi, no mind and no self, so that it can be like a clean up your system. Like a computer, that I gave some examples that computer get clogged up, and interactions between Apple and Google and this and that. And I'm at the loss and spend lots of time even talking with AI and Gemini or ChatGPT, and they don't give me a sensible answer, and I have to come up with an answer to be the master. So it's frustrating, but we have an ability to go through if we are needed to do something, if we get to this corner. And that's where I was thinking this morning about the word which I picked up from this book, Shimura's book, because I've read many times and I remember pretty much everything. Anyway, so Jicho is the word. The Ji is on its own, and Cho is the characterization is omoi. Omoi means heavy. Yourself is important, is what it means. The important thing is to have that sense so that you can be the master of your destiny. So, for example, Daisetsu was talking to Shimura that Jicho um, be have the sense of you being important, have something respectful, is the reason why human being is human being and respectful. And if you flip that around, if you don't respect yourself, then you may not have this totosa, respectful sense in yourself. I'm kind of repeating things. But he is, Daisetsu was saying, since we have, or human beings have the possibility to respect ourselves, therefore, human beings is respectful. So, anyway, that's the same as you to be the master of your destiny. So, why am I talking about it? I guess one of the point that I want to share is that idea, and what's the core of that respectful thing. And if I just go as I talk, that's within us, not somewhere else. And maybe in Buddhism they may say Busho, potential to become the Buddha, enlightened. We all have that. And my terminology representing or characterizing that is we are born as miracle of the universe and the nature. So there's that respectful, totally absolute way of our being already in here for us to be alive and be born as human. And there's a way of processing it in us. And I just didn't think this is a way to go about this, but basically what it means is that if you realize that, that's awakening. Explosion of what has happened to me in my vipassana too. Not to push this idea, but be respectful about you being human. And what is that respectable thing in being human is the unknown power within, that if we have access, and it's already there because of this point that I talked about with the miracle, if we can connect to that, because access is like, again, mind get lost and busy and every which direction things are happening. And where am I? Which way to go? This is danger here and that's danger. They said this is the right way and this is a place to go have vacation. You have to eat this one. And, all that, tons of information. So clarity to process that information, because that is coming down. And we have to see how, like I said, the root of us is expressing and growing instead of bombarded with those storm of the information. And it's sad. The reason is not to complain about the wind and the storm, but for us to not to respect what's within. And the religion may bring out that, but how they teach may say, do this, do that. And it can work. But there are sort of religions that they have all the information and that there's so many things to be respectful. But what is the core of that message? Then without that, all the information within each other, like the computer and the, the iPhone and the Apple and, this Google and all the stuff, they compete each other at times, and that's what I see. Because they have their own mission, each of them, and they're expressing what's important. This is a way, this is a way, this is a way. So it's each of us to find, I don't mean to talk about too much about the computer, but all the information and how we position ourselves so that we can, this Jicho, respect our being. That Daisetsu says we have the potential. It's not guaranteed. So listen to the heart is to listen to the source of wisdom. And for that to be acquired, I guess this is the main message here. From my point of view, I don't want to tell you what to do. Because I'm not like one do this, do that kind of guy. So back in days when I worked with a bunch of companies, 40 some years, I've written books, so I don't want to say anything more than what I wrote. So they invited me to help transform the organization. So what I did was talk at the top level, middle management, shop floor, and across all the different departments and so forth. And I asked lots of questions to get the sense out of it. Because they're all doing what they think is to be done. And there's always a hole or a gap. And the gap is mainly just listening to what to do story, but not have Jicho, the self-importance to self-manage. Because everybody wants to justify their reason of existence, and then you are in the part of it at the center or in the middle management or the shop floor, even at the top, because there's shareholders on the other stuff. And they're all relationships, the customer-supplier relationship. Then we have to know each of us to relate to who are the major customers and their issues, and because you exist to satisfy that customer's need. So it's a mini company idea. So that's the organization. Within each, we have this mini me go through the same thing. And they speak different language. I have to go this, I have to this, my friend is saying this, I have to go. So synthesizing and have a principled way to process it. This goes to yes, this goes to no basket, this is too difficult to address. Every morning we have to do it, every day we have to do it, every week and month we need to do it. And I talk about life profile idea to synthesize ideas to have a global view, and every day to check how things are going. And that's to be on top of the wave of whatever is happening, to self-manage ourselves, respecting our inner power, possibility. So that's the message, that's the idea that I am sharing. And what it means is that I appreciate that you may listen. I don't know how much you listen, but people seem to be listening. To take this opportunity of many people start to come to my, this YouTube thing. I want to share the foundation. The foundation is your curiosity in any of the part I'm talking about, if there is, and respect yourself not to wait for the answer to come, but be curious enough to engage talking with me or leaving a comment, so I can always come back. I may always come back with a question, but that is for the purpose of Jicho, self-importance, respect, to be developed and not have the passivity of just tell me what to do. And I'm not the one to tell you this is what you should do. I'm just sharing the ideas that seem to work. And I have maybe the respect in that source of power. That's why I can keep on doing this, because I need to confirm that I am in line to that thinking. And the expression that I speak and talk and share comes out in a different way. So if you listen to me, you may be confused because I'm talking this, I'm talking that, but there's something fundamental behind it always, and that is to respect oneself. And there's a power, energy, but has to be a curiosity to find out what it is. And you may be fine to believe that there's something and come back to me. And I could be random talking about the computer problem and, the things happened in my life. But all of those are to be the master of destiny, to self-respect within. And like Daisei said, that we have the power to process it. That's why the wisdom, compassion, all these things come out. If we don't have that interest in us to discover those source of energy and wisdom and compassion, then we become less self-managing and more giving up, or just tell me what to do. In the company, that can happen. In the society, it can happen. When you watch TV and internet, do this, do that, visit this, do this. The foundation part of how we navigate comes with our own initiative, even if it's very feeble or not well developed. But as kids, we are living in there, and we start to figure out, and we did figure out. But the information that comes in and listen and develop the habit can be biased this and that. And therefore, that's part of a reason, or major reason, because some are very authoritative and some are, like a communist idea, or this is a democratic country. Each of them have its own reason to have that sense of what to do. But it's not given. The human being revolution is a continuous process. And we are to be in it, not as a burden, but to be forced to aim at the right direction, possibly the good direction. And for that to happen, involvement, empowerment, and connection, and understanding, curiosity, and finding the core of who we are through meditation or discussion, I think that is important. Of course, I'm missing something, and I don't think I can explain anything more than I did, because maybe that's too much. But onozukara shikari in Japanese, shizen, I said, on its own, by itself, the nature's way. Shizen, nature, has the power to be respected and listened to. It's bringing us to live. And if we connect to the source of wisdom and compassion, and related to that comes with the wisdom of managing us as the master of destiny. Let's work this out individually. Let's work this out as a group. And let's work out as the human toward that direction. If this is a setting that, I'm communicating something, let's find something common in us toward that direction and see what happens. There are lots of barriers to go through, but that's given. And see can do. Thank you.